to another episode of Reseller Evolution. I'm Scott.
And I'm Carl.
How's it going today, Carl?
It's pretty good. Another week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's been a good week for me as well.
I think we have a snowstorm coming in.
Oh.
I was like done with that. But
well, you live 8 hours away, and I think we're about an hour drive from where the snow kind of is gonna, like, I live in the southern part of Ontario, so
yeah,
I think the snow is about an hour from us. I think we're gonna miss it. We're getting a little bit of rain though, but it's like +6 or +7, so I think we're gonna miss the snow.
Sweet. Well, garage sales will be here before we know it.
Yes, looking forward to that. Well, before we get into what this week was like in a little bit more detail, just to let any newer viewers here, we are on Spotify and YouTube, and we upload a new audio version of this show every Friday at 10 a.m. So, and this week's show is going to be about how to identify a reseller by, you're a reseller when. And we got some great comments from some listeners, and a few of our suggestions of our own. You're a reseller when. But before we get into that, Carl, tell us about your week. What's going on?
Oh man, feels like every week I have something negative to talk about. So I'll start with the positive, or the strangely positive one. So, just April the 1st, of course, Tesla decided to give us a trial of the self-driving aspect of our cars. So yesterday I went to the thrift stores and my car drove me around from thrift store to thrift store.
Wow.
It was absolutely terrifying.
Wow. And I was like hook, line, and sinker on that one. You got me.
Oh, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. It actually did do that. Yeah.
Oh, but you commanded it to it. You just didn't say, "Hey, Carl, we're going thrifting today," and then
it didn't drive me to where I didn't want to go. No, it didn't do that. But
Okay.
yeah, you put in the address and it drives you there.
Wow.
And it kind of drives like a 90-year-old man.
Oh,
like very cautious, but at the same time kind of terrifying.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, so because you just feel like you haven't got control?
Yeah. And it was interesting, like, because it works. I think I did the first complete stop in my car since the day after I got my license. So it felt like I'm sitting at the stop forever, but it's probably actually a proper stop.
Yeah.
It turns, it waits for the lights, it makes right turns, it does everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it was quite scary. But it worked. I didn't use it for the entire trip. I used it maybe 20% of the time, 25% of the time.
See, I can't imagine like 10 years from now where things are going to be.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, in 10 years, like maybe 5 years earliest, 5 to 10 years. Like, can you imagine you just go to sleep in your car at night and then you wake up, I don't know, in New York City or something like that, and you didn't have to do any of the driving? Like, how interesting would that be? Or like if you wanted to go to that live auction, but it's like 8 hours away, you're not going to do it. But if you could just like go to bed, wake up, do the auction, it drives you back. Like, I could see it be very interesting. Anyways, that was quite. It's not there yet, though.
Yeah,
it's not there yet.
Yeah. No, you got a good point though. I really just see with the artificial intelligence that's coming out, like we could have our own like AI robot in the house and all sorts of things. Like, and I kind of be sarcastic, but I think we're at a stage now where robots and technology is just speeding up the creation of newer technology to the point where, I mean, I'm not the first one to say this, but I agree with it. Like, the faster we develop technology, or the better technology, the next big technology is so much closer. You know what I mean?
It could be a leap. Like the home computer was a leap. The internet was a different leap. This could be the next leap. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but it's condensing. Like, things are happening and new inventions are so much quicker. You know what I mean?
Google Lens. Just think how much Google Lens has changed our lives in the last few years.
Yeah.
The other thing that happened.
Yeah, but until they start doing pickup trucks, I'll have to drive myself.
The other thing that happened though is I got an egg. I got a negative, the dreaded negative,
Yeesh.
and honestly, I deserved it.
Oh,
I had
really?
no excuse. It was a freaking VHS DVD player, and I tested this thing. It was clean. They got it. They said it works, but they can't connect it to their TV. And
Oh,
I'm like, there's no way. There's no way that little aspect of this broke. And I had so much other stuff going on that I complained about every show, and I didn't deal with it. I didn't deal with it, and then they dealt with it by giving me a negative. So I get to stare at that thing for a whole year.
well,
Uh,
I would call eBay and say, listen, I gave them exactly what I said, and because they can't connect it to their TV, doesn't deserve me a negative. Did you refund them, or did you just say,
no, I didn't do
oh,
anything.
well,
And
and but I would still call eBay. Just say
yeah,
like I got a return. I didn't get a negative, but the guy put in a return request because he bought a hat, and he says it doesn't fit. Is that my fault? Like I give him the dimensions, the size, I give him all the information, and
yeah,
if it doesn't fit his big head, that ain't my fault. You know what I mean?
yeah. I know
Like,
what you mean.
so I refund him. It was only what, 29.95. Like, it's not a big deal,
Yeah,
but it's not worth it from Kentucky for him to mail it back. You
that was
know?
the situation I was in because it's like it was $40 plus shipping, and so it's not worth getting back.
Yeah,
But at the same, I don't know. But I'm gonna like I said, I deserve this negative. I'm not gonna fight it because it's on me. And yeah, sometimes we're not we're not always the best. And I have a whole year to look at it and to remind myself to be a little bit better of a reseller.
yeah.
So
I think I would still contest it though, and
mm,
I think I would just contact eBay, or there is a way you can go in there and ask him to take it off, but just say it's not my fault that the guy doesn't have the proper TV. He should have known that before he bought it.
it's so hard to troubleshoot over the internet too, and like who knows who you're dealing with at the other end. But these are all true things, but like I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna do anything. How was your week? Maybe your week was better than mine.
My week was good. I mean, the booth is crushing it. Like the weekend was like it just during the week I've slowed down.
Yeah.
Right, like it's just kind of average. I think there was a couple days actually there was no sales. There was at least one day for sure, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Like, things are going to
Yeah.
slow down. And
Yeah.
then the weekend was just phenomenal. Like, but I mean, it was a long Easter weekend. But Friday, like Good Friday, it was crazy, crazy how good it was. And then Saturday was really good, and Sunday was crushed it. So really happy with the booth. I can't speak highly enough times because I say this all the time, but
Mm.
it really has been great. And eBay's been good, except for the fact that I need to keep listing. Like I'm my biggest enemy right now. But
I'm glad the booth is doing really good. Like, that's a good broken record to have. That
yeah, I
sales are being
know.
so good.
Yeah, because I definitely sound like a broken record. But yeah, no. So this month there's going to be some changes coming up. We're going to swap booths with someone else there
Yeah.
that's not doing as well. So that's going to take a couple of days, but not really looking forward to that so much. But outside of that, it's like, I mean, I'm not worried about that. It'll give me good opportunity to change it up and stuff. So outside of that, I do have a private pick. I got to give the lady a call. Probably do that today after the show and find out what's convenient for them.
Hmm.
Go pick there. I got some big auction stuff coming up soon. Like, I mean, I'm probably going to skip. I skipped last week's, and I'm probably going to skip this weekend's, just because it's not really 100% what I need. But there's three coming right up after that are huge, huge, and I
Yeah.
can't wait. I can't wait to dive into those. In
That's
fact, I might even not. I might cut out this little portion that I just said to keep it on the down low.
cool. Well, I won't ask too many questions then.
All right, all right.
Um, yeah. So should we get into some of the feedback from last week's show?
Yeah. Now, so what we did last week is we told everyone what we're going to do this week, which is, you're a reseller when. So we got a couple of those coming up. And before we get to those comments, Carl, do you want to read off? Randy had a comment.
Sure.
That
Hi,
was that was strictly based on last week's show and not about you're a reseller win. So
okay. Hi, Scotty and Carl. The online auction houses are in Halifax, about an hour and a half to 2 hours away. So I have to make sure I win enough to make it worth the time, which is hard to do. Yeah, I totally get that. Like Carl, I get antsy at live auctions. I don't like standing around for 3 hours. One thing I know for sure: never play poker against Scott. Yeah, it's funny. I've been playing poker this week, but that's not the topic. Yeah, like I'm the same way. Like there's nothing more frustrating than driving somewhere and sitting there for hours and never bidding. Like I have done that in the past when I was not buying a lot. Uh, Now I would just leave. But you're saying you stay off to the end of the auctions. Um, and I don't think I could stand around for 3 hours. Like my legs would probably kill. I'm too old for that. But
yeah, I stand for the most part, but I do sit down too. Like if I want to sit
mm.
down, and I mean, there's a washroom there, there's food there. It's not like it's to me, it's entertainment, and I enjoy it, so that's fine.
Do you ever worry someone's going to steal your stuff or cherry
Not,
pick out of your pile when you're gone? No,
no, not really,
I'm
not really.
paranoid. That crosses my mind. But
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we have guys that come in there and they look suspicious, and they just walk around like and look at things. And when I have a pile of stuff and they start rummaging through it, and I just say, I'll usually go up to him and say, "Hey, buddy," I said, "This is my stuff. I want it already. It's not. It's not coming up for auction. No, no, it's already done." But for
and
the
let's
most
be
part,
honest, a lot of guys look kind of sketchy in our business,
yeah,
anyways.
yeah. Some of them do for sure. But when they don't know what's been auctioned,
Yeah,
they just came in. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
that's different. Yeah,
that right, like
yeah.
what's been auctioned and where, because he goes around in a certain area and you already know what it looked like before and stuff. So I'm kind of why are you here when 2 hours have gone by? You know what I mean? Like and I can understand people coming in late and stuff like that. But I mean, okay, I'm kind of rambling on, but for the most part, no. I did have a box of glasses that I was like drinking glasses, but they were like a pink swirl. They were mid-century modern, and I got them really cheap. So I'm maybe $10 or $5. Like I got a whole bunch of them very cheap, but I really wanted to know how they would do, and that went missing.
Oh,
But outside of that, nothing did. And I think it was an honest mistake that someone probably just thought it was their stuff, because I do have like bunches of stuff all over the place. So
mm.
I done the same thing once, Carl. I'm sitting there standing by some of my trays, and there was other trays, like because all these tray lights, I went by them so fast, I didn't really even know what ones were mine. And someone goes, "How much do you want for those?" And it was pointing to a tray, and I'm like, "Okay, I think these are my tray," and I was ready to sell them stuff, right? And then the lady come over, and I said, like, I'm not 100% sure if this is your tray or my tray, because he wants to buy something, and I was ready to sell it to him. And so, anyways, it ended up being her tray, and they made their own little deal. But
That
um,
would be funny selling other people's stuff. Yeah, I'll take $5.
but yeah, for the most part, I don't have a problem with it. But I'm
Right.
not too worried. Most of the people there, I would say at least 30% are people I see there all the time.
Yeah, I would concur with that. And like back to Randy's comment, 2 hours, there and then 2 hours back, that would be beyond what I would probably do unless I saw the preview and there was just tons and tons of stuff I would love, and even then I probably wouldn't be happy about it. So I don't blame him
Yeah,
for
and
not
he's
going
talking
that
about
far.
online. I was talking about live auctions, but I
Oh, right,
agree
you're
with him.
right.
I,
Yeah.
I agree with him there on the online. Like that's my whole reason for not going to Max Sold, is because usually it's an hour and a half to 2 hours away,
Mm.
and I there's no guarantee. Like if there was something where it's like unbelievable stuff like I needed to have, then I'd take a chance on it. But for the most part, it's just because of where I live that I choose not to do the Max Sold. Anything else, Carl, about it on your
No.
end?
Yeah, I don't really have anything to follow up on that.
Okay. Well, he goes on that antsy at live auctions. So I don't get antsy. I enjoy it. Like it's just I enjoy it. So I'm very much in my comfort zone because I can't wait for the next one. If I'm antsy about anything, I'm antsy waiting for the next auction. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
I'm excited about going to the next one. So, but once I'm there, I feel right at home, to be honest. And I don't mind standing. But one thing I know for sure is never play poker against. So, uh, I kind of responded to this one back to him in typing. And I say this about some games, but especially poker. Like, it's funny how some games represent life and you can carry your game theory over into the real world. And I really think poker is one of those games. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So, um, I think I can relate it to a lot of different things in life. Um, or a lot of things in life can be summed up in poker. But um, I like to use that comparison just because the crossover is so it's amazing to me how much they represent each other.
You know, the funny thing is about that poker example is that I like online poker, and
Yeah,
I have a feeling that you like live poker,
I won't play online poker. I have
and,
played it and I hate it. I
and I
hate it. I
love
got
it.
to be in the crowd.
I
Yes.
love it because it's black and white.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just numbers, and like I win. Like I
Yeah.
can take like I'm not taking a ton of money, but I'm going to be taking my investment off and a whole bunch more, and it's like because it's just black and white, and I don't have to like show my emotions or like judge and figure out what other people are actually thinking. I just kind of like it's good enough. So that it's just funny that how we have a preference for online versus live, and
Yeah.
kind of goes into poker as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah.
So should we get into the topic?
Yeah.
You're a reseller when.
Yeah. I know. Eh? It's like, well, I mean, do you want to start it off there
Should
for
we
the
start
first
with
one?
doing it wrong? We'll use a
Yeah.
couple of his, and
Yeah.
we'll
We'll
make
do a
comments
couple of
about
his
them.
and a couple of Randy's and then back to doing it wrong for sure. And then we got a couple of our own. So, and we'll kind of comment them and see how we can relate to each comment. But
Okay, so I'll just pick a few. So, doing it wrong, he says, you're a reseller when you're afraid of having friends over because they'll see your order house of death piles. Yeah, I have been embarrassed. Like, I remember one time I had to move a couch or something like that was like had stuff all around it, and my sister-in-law was like, "Oh my god, your basement's a huge disaster." And it's like, yes, it's part of that disaster is because like I'm moving this couch for you, and I had to move everything onto the ground. But I do kind of live in a bit of a hoarder house for part of the basement at all times, and you just don't bring people to that part of the house.
well, I'll be honest with you too. I am bad for that. So we have a rule here that it's okay to be out in the common area,
Yeah.
where the common folk are allowed to go, but it has to be cleared before grandkids or relatives or just friends. Like, if it's my cousin or something like that, or my mom, like it's fine because they understand it. But
Right.
if Steph kids are coming over, whatever, those areas have to be cleared for that. And I think the outside gets a little carried away for me sometimes. And
Yeah.
it gets to the point sometimes I'm a little bit embarrassed, but it is what it is. And it doesn't happen often, but if I have a couple of big picks and everything's full, I do have to put some stuff outside in front of the garage or along the side of the house.
Oh
And it,
no, you're one of those. I didn't.
well,
This is
not I'm
new
not
to
by
me.
nature, like I know it has to stop, but it's just I have to get that garage cleared so I can put the stuff inside. Like I deal with it quickly,
Right.
but like it's there for a couple of days and it's gone. And then a week later it's there for a couple more days and then it's gone. So some people might not think it's ever gone, right? Like if you drive by my
Wow.
house at a certain time of the week,
I
you might
think the stuff lined up against the side of the house along that's a line that should not be crossed.
and it should not be crossed. And it's fine. It is what it is, and it'll be fixed and it will never happen again.
Wow.
But I have said it'll never happen again, and then it
It
happens. But
happens.
yeah, it happens. But it's
Part of the
just,
business too, you have
it,
so much stuff coming in. And
yeah,
some of it can be outside, like but my rule is basically not on the main floor. It has to be on my side of the basement, and I'm pretty good at that.
yeah.
But
But for sure, 100%, that's a great one for sure.
Do you want to do one of Randy's now? Do you want to do that one?
Okay. You know you're a reseller when if you always have 4 plastic totes sliding around in the truck bed. And that's a guarantee for sure.
Do you always have them in there? Like, it's funny. We were just talking about trucks before the show.
Well, the problem is
Yeah.
it's never just totes, and
No.
they're never empty. Like so, how I do my thing is I have my booth. So either the truck is full because I picked a bunch of stuff and I'm just kind of going through it, and I don't have any room in the house, so I kind of leave it and just bring a box or two at a time, or
Right.
I've got stuff prepped to go to the booth. So I'll prep it, price it, tag it, or price and tag's the same thing, but price it, put it in totes or boxes,
Yeah.
or depending on the size, sometimes just it itself. And then I'll fill up my truck. And then when I can go and put it in the booth, I'll drive over to the booth and it's already there and done. I just have to take the items in. But yeah, there's always stuff in my truck at
Me
any
too.
time.
Like for me, it's stuff I need to donate. And so with
Oh,
my
interesting.
Tesla, right, we have the frunk. We have the little thing at the front.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, I'll just put like stuff in the front, which I never use, just to donate. So I open up the front and it's already full of donation stuff that I've been hauling around for months and months and months. I didn't even know it was in there. Right now the back of the trunk has like all these books just like flying around everywhere I go that I need to donate. And yeah, it
Yeah.
it definitely is. You do carry some inventory in your truck or
Yeah.
in the back.
All
So
right. What do you got next?
so I'm gonna do one of mine.
Oh, okay.
So you know your reseller if you own IKEA bags, but you never go to IKEA.
Yeah.
Everyone, every I can always figure out who the resellers are when they have those big blue IKEA bags because it's just so convenient.
Yeah.
Like I use them all the time for when I need to take things for shipping, or for auctions. Like for any auction, I'll bring them because I can just dump all the stuff in the bag and they're great. But yeah, everyone I know who's a reseller has at least one, if not two or three of these bags. Do you
Yeah.
have any?
I use one, but I only use it to take stuff to the post office.
Yeah, it's so convenient that's what I use it for mostly. Yeah, is
Yeah.
that. And I
Um,
have two now, but
yeah.
they're because they're so wide brimmed, it's great,
Yeah. Yep.
almost anything fits in them.
And you can fit a lot of packages. Like most of the stuff we sell online is smalls, right? So you
Yeah,
can fit like 10 packages or more in there, right? So
it's been
it's
a really good weekend if I need two IKEA bags.
uh
Um,
I'll read another one of doing it wrongs here.
sure.
You
Yeah.
don't go out Friday night with the boys because your garage sale season, you got to get up early.
Oh
Carl,
man.
that's something you need to learn.
Oh,
To get up early. No,
I'm
you
training myself now.
yeah.
I'm training to get up early
Yeah,
because like,
spring training.
well, now that I'm like retired, I don't really have to get up and I
Yeah,
don't have to go to bed. So like the 10, your whole world
100%.
shifts by a few hours. I'm not quite at the age of retirement where we eat supper by 4 and we're in bed by 8, but uh yeah, it it is true though. Like if I'm planning on going out the next day, I try to force myself to go to bed early because some people are crazy enough to get up at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. to go to these garage sales. So if
Oh,
I'm not up
I'm getting
by
up at
then,
6 a.m. I'm there at 7 a.m., buddy.
yeah. So do you ever say no? Do you ever say, "Oh, I need to go to bed so I can get up early"?
I try to go to bed early.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm a night owl, right? So it's really hard for me to get to sleep before 11 o'clock. Um, Usually it's 1 or 2 in the morning. But I for garage sales, I know the importance of getting up early, and
Yeah.
very rarely do I sleep in. I'm not saying I've never have, but very rarely. Um,
Do you set the alarm?
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Set the alarm, and Steph will get me up too, right? So she knows like if I'm kind of dragging my butt, like she knows that it's important to me, and I'll be upset that I didn't get out there early.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I listened to our podcast last time, and you're one of the things that we kind of skipped through is you said, do you get to the auctions early to look stuff out? And I try, but most of my auctions that I go to are an hour and a half away, so I don't feel the need as long as I get there by the time that the auction starts. That's the pressure I'm under. I don't have that pressure to get there early because there's no advantage to getting there super early other than to look through it. You know what I mean? I'm not losing out on anything. So that pressure's not there. So sometimes I don't get there quite that early. But for yard sales, I am up early all the time.
I'm looking forward to it. Like the thrift stores have been so bad that I'm like, "Huh, I just need to wait for the garage sales." So for once in my life, I'm actually anxious for the garage sales to start.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, dude, honestly, I hope you do. So I want to hear
yeah.
positive stories every Saturday. I hope you find gold, dude. Like
You don't want to
we
hear
don't
just
compete
me,
each
the
other.
bitching
So
ones.
what's that?
You don't want to just hear me bitching like I usually send you every garage sale, how much this sucks and how much I want to go back to bed. And then an
Well,
hour later I'm back to bed.
hey, listen, I smile at those stories because I'm like, really? But I'll be happier if I hear good stories for sure.
Okay, so we'll do another one with Randy's here.
Yeah.
Um, you know your reseller if the neighbors leave stuff at your back door. And so for me, for that is boxes. So I told the neighbors
Oh,
that I always appreciate boxes.
yeah,
So once in a while, I'll come to the front door and yep, just box and full of packing material and all that stuff. And I do appreciate them. Like it's not like saving a ton of money. Like I buy 99% of all my shipping supplies, but once in a while you'll have something odd. And um, what I do is I make sure I break them down. But sometimes it's amazing, like how much shipping materials some Amazon sellers and some use none, but some use so much. I'd be able to pack like 20 boxes or shippings out with just one box, like crammed full of like craft paper and stuff like that. So yeah, I do. The neighbors do leave stuff for me, and I do appreciate it. So
yeah. I wouldn't say neighbors so much, but I know relatives. So, I
relatives
mean,
for sure. Yeah.
if the neighbors do anything, they're calling the bylaw officer to get the stuff cleared out of my front yard. But
Well, now that I know that you have stuff lined up along the side of your house, is probably a good thing that they're doing that. But yeah, no, my relatives being awesome. They've like my brother-in-law has given me tons of stuff. Like even if I couldn't sell it myself, I've made good connections with the people giving them stuff.
yeah,
And so yeah, no, it's always appreciated. But
yeah,
yeah,
and they're so generous. Like you try to pay. I don't want. I'm going to throw it in the garbage. Like if it's something you want, then keep
yeah,
it and sell it. If not, I'm going to throw it in the garbage or donate it or whatever. But I've been given cameras and sold them for hundred plus dollars. Different things like that. I know when my mom moved, she sold her house there. Oh, just before Christmas, and the family was to go through. I convinced her to have a yard sale, and she still gave me a ton of stuff, like just really, you know, stuff for the booth, some things I
yeah,
could sell online,
yeah.
uh, just different things. So very appreciative all around for that for sure. But it's amazing how many people just support you by giving you stuff, right? Okay, so what was that? Was that Randy's?
Yeah, that's Randy. So I'm gonna do another one of mine now.
Okay.
Uh, you can tell your reseller when you sell your childhood away for $20. And so I've been given stuff from my parents from my childhood, books and things like that. It's like, I don't need this. I
Yeah.
can sell my childhood. So yeah, I've definitely have it's funny, I have less emotional attachment to some of that childhood stuff than I would have had otherwise. And I don't know if you feel that way too, but like
100%.
especially the stuff I don't feel like there's some things obviously I'm going to keep. But yeah, like books from my childhood, I've gone like 15 or $20 for them. It's like, yeah, let someone else enjoy it. I'm not the person like because a lot of our customers are the opposite. They're trying to buy their childhood back.
Yeah. No, I don't have attachment to really anything. Not really. I mean, everything's got a price, right? So,
Yeah.
you know,
In this case, it was $20.
yeah, yeah. Um, but there was a Tommy Talker, and I had it around. I used to have it in the background, and that was something that was a childhood thing. I ended up selling it for $135,
Oh
right?
well, that's worth it then.
Yeah, so I put it in the booth, and someone was so excited to have it because it
Yeah.
was something they had, and it. I think there was a fire or something. It got damaged and thrown out. So They were so happy to find one, and they are rare. If it was slightly in better shape, in that the I could pull the string was broken in the back, so the mount didn't move and stuff. I mean, those go for about $200 on eBay, but I put $135 in the booth, and it sold very quickly. So,
Nice.
but yeah, I'm in the same boat. I sell stuff from my childhood, no problem,
No
no problem.
problem. Should we do another one from Doing It
It's
Wrong?
all about the ching, Carl.
It's all
It's
about
not
the
about anything else.
cheap.
Uh, okay, another one. Let me see here. I'll get up to doing it wrong here. While you're running errands, you stop off at the thrift store so you can write the whole trip off as a business trip for mileage. Nice. I,
I kind of do that for sure.
dude,
Uh,
that is so me for sure. And not just thrift stores, it can be yard sales, anything. So, do you
yeah,
want to
like for
tell
me,
your
it's like
time?
if I have to go like pick up food or something,
Yeah,
and it's like I know there's a thrift store up there. Like instead of waiting for it to be, if it's ready at 7:30, I'll go right away
yeah.
and just make sure I hit that thrift store first, and then like I might wait a little too long and have the food a little cold when I pick it up if I'm not careful. But yes, I definitely integrate where are the thrift stores along this trip, or like if we're going to a small town, like just for something to do, I'll say, I wonder if there's any thrift stores in that town or antique malls and stuff like that. So I definitely do that.
Well, I know there's times where Steph would go get her hair done. Now,
Yeah.
her hairdresser was in St. Thomas, which is about an hour drive, and that's because she used to live there. She grew up in this area, and then when she was married, she lived out there. Her kids and stuff are still there,
Yeah.
and the hairdresser's still there. So I go with her, and I would go thrifting while she got her hair cut. We'd have to hit all the thrift stores on the way back, and
Price to pay.
then when her son got married and everybody's getting ready for the wedding, I went out yard sailing on the Saturday morning. It was up in Perry Sound, and or yeah, Port Perry, and so we're up there, and I went yard sailing and bought some stuff, and then I came back, got dressed, went to the wedding. So
Nice. That actually, the funny thing is, like, I was in London, Ontario a couple of summers ago,
yeah,
and I went to the thrift stores. It was there for a wedding. And yeah, I escaped, went thrift stores, and I found like these Xerox toner cartridges. I think I bought 4, and they each went for like 100, 150 each.
oh nice,
So I paid for everything. It was
yeah,
just kind of
yeah.
funny. And then of course, I had to make fun of my thrifting friend who lives in London, Ontario, saying, "Hey, I went into your stores and grabbed all the good stuff."
I remember that when that happened. So
Yeah,
when you talked about that for sure. All right, you got another one with
sure.
Randy?
I think are we at Randy here?
Yeah,
If you're visiting and can't stop yourself from flipping over the plate to see the maker's mark. So, kind of in relation to that, yeah, it's like if you visit a friend's place or relatives, you can't help but look around the house saying, I wonder how much that's worth.
yeah,
It's like, oh, I could resell that.
yeah,
Or even better, you tell them, hey,
yeah.
you know those like Fisher Price guys you have in the basement? They're worth like $5 each. You just can't help yourself. Or
Yeah.
at least I can't help myself. And my relatives' eyes just glaze over as I'm doing this stuff. But even then, I can't stop myself. It's just like we're always on the look. We're always on the
Oh,
hunt.
always on the look.
Yeah.
And I see things so much differently for sure. When you go to someone's house, when you go anywhere, like you're
Yeah.
always like picking, like, wow, that could be worth some money, or that is worth money, or yeah, 100%, 100%.
You're a reseller when you understand the joy of shipping and finding the absolute perfect box for the item. When it's like has the right length, width, and depth, and it like then just fits in smoothly, and you don't have to put any packing material. It's just like that satisfaction is something only a reseller can understand, especially when it's something like odd sized.
Yeah,
You're like, what am I going to do? And you just happen to have the right box.
yeah, no, 100%. My son, well, and Steph, but they'll buy stuff from Amazon, different things, and I'll keep certain odd shaped boxes 100% for that reason, right?
You're almost
Like,
more excited by the box that it
yeah,
arrives in than the items that
yeah,
came in the box.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'll need that for sure. It's perfect
I,
for
I,
sure.
I have noticed Amazon's doing a funny thing where they'll just happily throw the thing to rattle around in the box. Have you noticed that? Like the box will be so oversized that the item is like they won't even put packing material in. They'll just like, I don't know, throw razor blades in like a huge box, and they don't seem to care.
Well, I'm I'm kind of like, this is just a thought, okay? Because I've kind of
Right.
found some things with Amazon, and I really was disappointed, or just disgusted. Maybe is a better word, because I don't like, their packaging was horrible.
Yeah.
The box was beat up. I bought a tape, like a tape dispenser thing. It was bent where the rips your tape. So I ended up buying another one. Um, so I only think that as long as eBay sellers don't act like that, and we can keep a good thing, I think eBay is going to be the place to go instead of Amazon, because they're horrible.
Something has changed at Amazon in terms of like I've had issues buying stuff where they said they shipped it and they didn't even have it in stock. And this has been over the last year, so it is kind of funny. And actually, Amy just had to do a return because she got all these like uh straw toppers for like those Stanley, is it Stanley, water mugs, and
Okay.
they were the wrong size. And but the weird thing is the container, like the little box that came in, was unsealed. So I think someone actually already got these toppers, found they didn't fit, just like Amy found they didn't fit, and returned them, and they just shipped them out again to us. And now we're shipping them back because they don't fit. There's been more incidents like that. I'm not bashing Amazon. It just feels like something's happened. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's just luck of the draw.
Well, I think what's happening is you get all these people that are resellers, and they're getting these returns from Amazon on these, probably these, what do you call it, like a pallet, and then they're just reselling them on Amazon.
Yeah, but this stuff was from Amazon itself. It wasn't from a seller. It's from the Amazon warehouse. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But you're
Yeah.
right. Like I've sold stuff on Amazon, but not from the warehouse, but as if fulfilled by merchant,
Yeah.
which is the same thing basically as eBay. You just
Sure. 100%.
I don't do it because I won't get into it, but it was too much of a it wasn't worth my time. I never
Yeah.
had a bad experience, but
Yeah. So Amazon's really, yeah, slacking. You know what I mean? They're,
it is something strange. Yeah. Maybe I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it, but it is something I've noticed.
all you have to
Was
do is look at how many, like 50% return rate.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember when I think it was Chris talked about it that way in the past, and I didn't believe
Yeah.
the rate was that high.
Yeah.
But I keep hearing that maybe not 50%, but like in the 30% or 40% range,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Like if I had a 30%
Yeah.
return rate, I wouldn't be doing this.
I wouldn't be doing it either. But yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, we went off. You know, you're a reseller when you go off on tangents about reselling. All right. So what do we got? A non, you know, you're a reseller when a non-reseller friend points out something cool, and instead of checking it out, you comp it.
Yeah. It's like, look at this cool toy from my childhood. Oh yeah, let me just like Google Lens that. It's like, oh, that's for $40.
Yeah,
That's
all
pretty
the
good.
time. I kind of get it more like, what do you think this is worth? And I'll try to explain to them how to comp it, and I'll look at it on the online, like I'll comp it in front of them.
Yeah.
But I do that a lot too. But usually it's upon request.
Yeah. And sometimes those comp ones are like, you already know it's worth nothing. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
blue, like this is here's some Blue Mountain pottery.
Oh,
Or
whoa, 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 whoa! Don't be crushing my Blue Mountain
a
pottery. I've been doing good
green.
with
How
that.
about this? The green one. And you just know it's not worth anything. Or like I can tell for teacups. It's like I already know like that's worth nothing.
Dude, I went to an auction and I
Oh,
couldn't even tell you. I got it like probably four, maybe five big boxes full of Blue Mountain pottery. I
right.
kid you not, for $5.
Oh, I believe it because it's all garbage.
Nobody wanted it. And I'm like,
Of
five
course.
bucks? I'm all over that shit,
Right,
right?
right,
So
right, right.
that flew, I put anywhere from probably 10 to
Yeah.
$25. And it was the mocha one, and it was an off grayish green turquoise type color. And then there was some black and green. The kind of your more standard
Yeah.
colors. That stuff sold so quickly.
Well,
Like
grandma came into your place and bought it all up.
grandmama's. I don't care who buys it, dude. I don't give a shit who buys it. You
20
want it?
bucks is
You
20
got
bucks.
it. What's that?
20 bucks is 20 bucks.
$20 or $25? Dude, that sold so quickly. Like I got very few pieces, but I was bringing pieces in all the time because it just kept selling. That mocha stuff was going like crazy.
Yeah, that's why I had to put in green. I'm talking about green mountain pottery because
Hey,
I
but
do know.
it sells too. It does
Yeah,
not get the prices that it used to, but neither
no.
do Royal Daltons or Hummels. But I will buy them on the cheap, and I will sell them all day long.
I should be
But
careful what I say on the show. It's like
what's that?
I have to be careful what I say on the show. Scott
Hey,
here is gonna like teach me.
yeah, don't knock the Blue Mountain Pottery. I, it's not like it used to be for sure,
No,
but if you can get it cheap, I will pick that up. But it can't be
$5.
chipped. It can't be chipped.
No.
It has to be pretty much mint. And like if you get a green and black, like the green and black glaze, like any animal will do well.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we'll do high, but if you can get it for $1 at a yard sale, which you can a lot of the times, you're going to
Yeah.
get $20 for it at the booth, right? So, and if you get the small ones, you can probably lot them up, sell them online. Somebody said that the Americans like it because it's not as common down there, right? So,
There's a lot of categories like that where the fashion for it is gone, but there are exceptions to that. Even like the Toby mugs,
yeah,
there
yeah,
are some exceptions out there that
100%.
hold their value. And the issue, of course, is like you hope that when you see that at the garage sale, the person thinks it's still not worth like hundreds of dollars. But
Yeah, I sold a Toby mug out of the booth the other day for $45.
oh wow,
Yeah, like
that's one of the first things I ever sold was a Toby mug.
yeah, nice.
And I got them cheap at
Yeah,
auction.
yeah, you get them cheap, right?
Yeah.
100%.
Mine. Okay, your wallet. You know your reseller when your wallet is full of receipts and coupons. Because I always had to have my coupons. So it's like this Cosenza. The Cosenza is that his like from the Seinfeld? The Cosenza wallet. I'm saying it wrong, but
Well,
it's all thick,
I don't remember it, but
right?
Costanza.
Costanza wallet. It's
Yeah.
all big and thick because of all the receipts I stuffed in there and all the coupons and stuff like that. Not just cash.
Well, I don't have a wallet issue, but I have a center console issue, and it's all receipts.
So you just stuff them in there.
I just stuff them in there, so
I
it'll be auction receipts, gas
yeah.
receipts, any type of receipt that I got.
So you just like take all that and just like put it into a pile and like hand it off to your accountant, which is probably you.
Yeah, I'll organize it later on.
I have bags full of receipts upstairs.
Yeah,
But like I don't really need to keep them though, because like the credit card statement I think is good enough for 90% of it. It's the cash ones I have to be careful because I mix them both together. And the cash ones, of course, I have to keep separate. But yeah, no paperwork is part of the other part of this game too. And like I do have a box just down here where every time I go out, I just like take the receipt I have and just stuff it in the box. And when the box is full, put it in a bag and hide it upstairs somewhere and just keep repeating it. And then I count it. And now it's tax month, so now I have to go through all that stuff.
yeah.
I haven't done it yet.
We do have one more from Randy though, and
Yep.
it's kind of similar to one we had earlier, but it's a little different. It's like if you have visitors and they look into your front room and say, "What the heck is that pile of stuff?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I can kind of relate to that because I have people come over and they're fascinated by the stuff, right? So they want to look at it. They're like, "Oh, that looks so great," or "What's that?" Or we'll get a, whatever new piece of furniture or something. But sometimes you get like, "What the heck is that stuff?" And other times you're like, people are like, "Wow!" And then I guess the alternative to that is, it's like $100 or $200, and now they want to buy it for 40, and you just told
Yeah.
them you paid 5. It's like,
No.
yeah,
No,
it's
no.
like,
Yeah, that would be very awkward. Yeah. It's like I
it's
don't want
so
to sell
tough,
this to you
right?
cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, I just paid 5 for that at the yard sale. Oh, would you take 40 for it? Well, it's worth like $200. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. No.
well,
The
you
answer
only
is
paid
no. This is
5.
this is
I
our
love it,
business.
right?
This is how we
So,
make our money. Yeah. It's like
um,
will you pay my room for like the cost of paint plus like $10? It's like no, they wouldn't do
yeah,
that either, right?
you know what though? A lot of times I end up giving in. So,
Honestly, I do as well. I just
yeah,
I don't even take anything for it. It's like here. It's
it's
pretty
just like,
rare that that's happening. Like, if I know a relative or a close friend really likes something, and it's not like $100 thing, I'll just give it to them.
Yeah.
That admittedly is really rare though.
I'll take the 45. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just giving it away, but if it's worth 100 or 200, I'll just say, like, I'm just letting you know this is this is why I bought it, because
Right.
it is worth this much. But yeah, I'll take 45. Like, sometimes I'll go less, or if it's not worth that much, I could end up giving it to someone as well. But yeah, that happens. That happens. But it's kind of in the same thing. What the heck is that? Or I love that. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
all right.
So I have another one.
Okay.
You're a reseller. This is for thrifters out there. You're a reseller if your ears perk up to the sound of a cart rolling down the floor.
I don't have
Uh,
that
It,
problem.
it's like it's hilarious. It's like a bunch of gophers at the thrift stores. When the car comes out, it's like you see everyone gets a little straighter up and they're what they're doing, and they all turn towards the cart and they all swarm the cart as it comes out.
Some
Yeah,
people are into cars. Some people are into trucks. Some people are into movies. Some people are into carts. I don't know.
yeah, into the carts, all the fresh stuff. Yeah, you get nasty too, but I haven't seen nasty too often. But let me put it this way: I've had to put my foot out in front of a cart when someone tried to pull it away from me. I put my full foot in front of the wheel so they couldn't take it away from me. It's like I hate that stuff.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
jeez.
sometimes you do have to stand up for yourself.
Oh, so you're saying someone's taking your cart?
Not my shopping cart. I'm talking about the cart that came out.
Oh,
And I'm going
oh,
through it, and they didn't want me looking through it, so they
right.
tried to take the cart away, which you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to touch the carts. The carts are for the employees. So I had to put my foot in front of the wheel so that they couldn't take it away and continue to looking through the little boxes looking through. There's some people who go way over the line in thrift stores.
Really?
Thankfully, it's rare,
Wow.
but those people are, yeah. And I've seen people block. I know you don't really do thrift stores that often, but each thrift store will have their own way of like bringing out the carts.
Yeah.
And I've seen them trying to come out from the back where they do all the pricing and everything. And I've seen people take their shopping cart and block the person coming out from the back so that they could have executive complete looking over the cart first, like that sort of stuff. And it gets, yeah, usually people get in trouble for that stuff, but yeah, thankfully it's rare.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, that stuff does happen.
Uh, Go to a regular retail store and try to do haggle. Oh, there's one. Yeah.
So for me, I don't haggle, but I find it really hard to pay retail now because I keep going, well, I could just get it. I could just get that at the thrift store for half the price
Yeah.
or a third of the price, um, especially for clothing. But I don't. My wife makes me buy new stuff, or she buys it for me.
Well, a regular retail store is kind of tough to say I try to haggle because I don't think I do there, but I haggle everything outside of there. So if I'm at I'm so bad. Sometimes I just shake my head at myself. Like, it's just instinct though. Like, if somebody wants $10, you take five. I know it's worth 60, $70, but I don't want to pay the 10. I want to pay five, And
Even when
I
it's a
guess
good
there's a
deal.
way to look at it is that
Yeah.
every couple of dollars that I save on every purchase at the end of the day adds up because I'm buying
Right.
so much throughout the day, right? But I really haggle on everything, right?
I
So
think I was watching Pete talk about that Craigslist Hunter, and he says he always tries to get 30% off everything, at least 30% off of what they asked, no matter what it is.
really?
So, yeah.
So like or like I don't know, when I watch his videos, I always see him trying to do 50% or better than what it's comped at.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. However, I think sometimes it really depends on how quickly it's going to go out of his store. So if he thinks it's
Well,
only going
I
to be on
think
the shelf for a week, because he's often paid more than I would ever pay.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
So in those cases, I that's why I was trying to figure out. I was like, why is he paying so much?
Yeah.
But I was like, I think it's because he knows it won't last long on the shelf, or maybe he just, But that's what he said. Like, it was an older episode because he got in trouble, I think, because like he bought something like at a garage sale or something way too cheap,
Yeah.
and even then he tried to negotiate
Dude, that's what the business is about. I do that
I
all the
know,
time.
but it was like $3, and he tried to get it for $2, and it was like worth $100, that sort of thing. You
Okay.
know,
Well, I would have said, why didn't he try to get it for $1? What the heck?
yeah, I know. That's what we make fun of Scott for. It's like but you're not worried about losing the sale, right? You'll just be like, okay, fine.
All right, I'll give in, but I want this for cheaper.
Yeah, you have to throw in this
If I
over
pay
here.
if I pay your 3 for this one, I don't want to pay 10 for that one. I want to pay 5.
Oh man,
Carl, if we ever went yard selling together, I think you just go sit in the car.
I'd be so embarrassed. I'd be like awkward thing after awkward thing. I hate awkward things. Maybe that's why I'm not a good negotiator. I can't stand awkwardness.
I never find it awkward, dude. Honestly, I always leave there. They're always in a good mood. We're happy. I'm happy. I've never had an issue. Never. No, I just jinxed myself. This year I'll be like beat up and tires slashed. And where'd Scott go? Oh, he's somebody's fertilizer in the backyard now because he haggled too much.
I'm just taking a quick look. I think that's it. I think I went through all mine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's everybody's here too.
Yes. So I think that was a pretty good show of your reseller win. So is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I think we pretty much summed it up. I really happy that Doing It Wrong and Randy put in their ideas. That really helped the show a lot. So appreciate that, guys, and always look forward to your comments. So, well, I guess we're getting down to the end of the show here, Carl. What do you think we should talk about next week? And anybody out there listening, make comments so we can read what Carl's about to say. Make a comment based on what you have dealt with, and we'll read them next week as well. So, what are we going to talk about next week, Carl?
So I thought we could talk about like maybe some of our which direction we want our business to grow, but also like maybe talk about some of the weaknesses that we currently have in our business and what we need to work on.
Okay.
So for me, dealing with returns is not something I'm being the best at, and I need to just have a standard way of dealing with it. So stuff like that. Okay. In terms of our business, well, maybe we need to work on listing or whatever, and what approaches we're gonna use to try and improve that.
All right. I think I'm always trying to improve things, so I kind of look forward to this show. Maybe strategies or just ways of looking back at what I've done in the past and trying to improve them. Because I think if you're not trying to improve, you're regressing. You know what I mean? So I think you always got to try to improve, no matter how good you think you are. You got to keep improving.
There's always little things you can do a little better. Yeah,
absolutely, 100%. I agree. So looking forward to that show. But anyway, that's pretty much going to do it for this show. And anything you want to add, Carl?
Well, there's a new show every Friday, 10 a.m. Tell a friend. Give us a thumbs up if you're on YouTube. And that's it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Yeah, so we're on Spotify as well. So you can go listen to us on Spotify or on YouTube. Usually the comments have been coming on the YouTube. So if you want to leave a comment, you just Reseller Evolution. And you'll find us every Friday, 10 a.m., like Carl had said. So perfect.
Awesome. See y'all later.
Yeah, have a good week, everybody.